Hey guys, my name's James. I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. I'm coming up on 100 days. I'm at 97 days today, clean and sober. So just a little bit of exposition about myself. Grew up in Augusta, Georgia, and I guess when I was about 14, that's when I started using drugs and alcohol. By the time I was about 18, I was in pretty much full-blown daily use on whatever it might have been, drugs, alcohol, whatever. 19, had my first experience in treatment, and was pretty convinced that I could just get out and stop doing the harder drugs and maybe just kind of drink and smoke a little pot. Within 3 months of that, I was a full-blown alcoholic. And so from, I'd say, 19 to 25, I ended up altogether going, including detoxes, psychiatric hospitals, sober living houses, inpatient treatment centers, ended up going to 21 other treatment centers. And mine jumped 25, so it was, there's a lot of consequences in between all of that and a lot of unnecessary pain. So, nevertheless, my sobriety date now is October 6th, 2018. I had a friend that had worked here at Mountainview, and he had, told me some really great things about the place. And I'd finally really gotten myself to a point where I was desperate, where I was like, I cannot keep going on like this. Like, I knew I was killing myself. My family was done. They had blocked my number. Health consequences, legal consequences, all sorts of repercussions of it, the general stuff that happens. And I ended up going to another treatment center and then quickly coming over to Mountainview. And I have to say it was a really incredible experience, and it was really very humbling too. I came in knowing that I had a lot of stuff to change, but not necessarily knowing what that was going to look like, And I would have to say that really the staff and the people that I lived with there too really changed my perspective on a lot of things and changed my attitude that I had towards recovery. I guess if the biggest thing that I can say that I got out of coming here is beginning to actually develop willingness. For me, I feel like that was the key ingredient I was missing this entire time. And the level of care and the level of compassion that you get from all of the people that work here is what really spoke volumes to me, and it made me realize for the first time in my life that I really was worth something and I was worth this. And ended up staying at Mountainview for close to 2 months, and really got to where I loved it. It's interesting. You don't technically think of being in a sober living house as, the dream destination of your life, but it got to be like home for me, and anyway, ended up transitioning out on December 7th and moving into a local sober living house here in Asheville, but continuing to do IOP through Mountainview. And I just have to say really that the level of growth that I experienced through not just my own willingness, but having people challenge me and challenge my belief system and challenge like some of these really deep-rooted fears and insecurities that I've had throughout my life is really it's been the biggest difference maker for me this time around. And it's been very humbling. As a matter of fact, Ashley, one of the owners, had said something very nice to me one time, that I had grown into a very humble young man. And when you've been around the block quite as much as I have with treatment, and you're used to coming into treatment centers and people telling you you're full of it or whatever, it was nice to see that other people noticed the change in me just as much as I was feeling the change. And I made quite a bit of really lasting friendships here. And they do such a wonderful job here of getting you involved in the recovery community in the Asheville area and taking you to outside meetings. So I really had an opportunity to flourish in that respect. it's definitely a very much a solution-based program, and I think that was part of the problem in the past is I always wanted to focus so much on the problem, and I would get so wrapped up and entangled in all of the issues that I had and not realize that this is simply, as cliche as it may sound, it's a one day at a time type deal, and it's something where you have to take it piecemeal and you have to do it gradually. And I think they really do an excellent job in all of the aspects of it. I worked through some trauma while I've been here, some mental health issues as well. In addition to that, in addition to focusing on my issues with addiction, and I don't know. I mean, I can't recommend them highly enough. They've truly saved my life, and I'm forever grateful and indebted to them for that.